film this intro 3 times because my mic was not on and there was no audio.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's Aniya. Today we're going to be doing an Ariana related video. I'm wearing my Sweetener shirt because I'm going to the concert in 8 days and this is going to be a part of my Sweetener series. So we're going to be doing 3 DIYs. The Regina George Thank You Next, the Little Bit Needy shirt, the custom hair clips, and the Thank You Next socks. First DIY we're going to be doing is the A Little Bit Needy shirt from the Thank You Next music video. I'm putting my own little kind of twist on it. Inspired by these Brandy Melville and Princess Polly shirts. For the shirt DIY, you're just going to need ribbon, the color of your choice. I got that from Amazon. Also gonna need a needle and thread. Transfer paper, I got this from Michael's, which is a craft store. A shirt, preferably white shirt that you like. You're also gonna need an iron, and you're gonna need a printer and your computer. So here I'm on iPicky, which is just a free version of PicMonkey, and I'm typing over the actual Little Bit Needy shirt with a lighter pink color. So here I'm just cropping down the actual white space of the pictures just so that I can fit them both without wasting transfer paper. So I'm taking my shirt again, comparing the shirt to that. And I think we're good. So I'm gonna go ahead and load a piece of transfer paper. I printed out test runs. So this one, the color was bad and I didn't like it. And this one was just the original Little Bit Needy, which I'll also link below. Okay, so now I'm just flipping the image so it can be mirrored and it'll print out correctly like that. That's all you have to do. I'm loading my paper in the printer and I'm gonna print it. So now all I'm doing is gonna tie my ribbon into a bow for the shirt. And I want my bow to be a rather small accent detail, so I think I'm just gonna leave it this size. And then yeah, you wanna cut your string at a diagonal. Mine's velvet, so I'm gonna sew it on with the good side forward and measure the collar, the neck of my shirt, and it doesn't have to be super accurate. And now to attach your bow to your actual shirt, you can use fabric glue. You want to make sure it's secure, so I'm actually going to take a needle and thread and just quickly hand sew it on. I'm by no means a professional sewer, so all I'm doing is taking thread that is close to the same color in my piece of thread. You can't really see it here, but I'm folding it in half. And then I'm gonna put that through the needle. Cut as close to your letters, outside your letters, as you can. Just so that you're not seeing the white parts. Thought I'd end up with Sean, but it wasn't a match. Wrote some songs about Ricky, now I listen and laugh. So I've carefully cut out my letters, and now I have a pillowcase inside my shirt, and I'm gonna just iron it one good time to get it flat before I put the letters. And now I'm using the letter stencil from when I cut it out just to know where to place my letters. One taught me love, one taught me patience, and one taught me pain. Okay, my letters are in place and my iron's hot, and I'm just gonna press this down once quickly, and then I'll go over it more carefully just so the letters do not move. And we're gonna let those cool. I'm gonna place this stencil back down so I can figure out where to put the next bit of letters. And now I've lined up my needy part, and so I'm just gonna press the iron down on those two. Okay, so as you can see, I started peeling it, and I'm just using my tweezers and finding a corner of the transfer paper. And
what I see, look what I got. Look what you taught me. Yeah, for that I say thank you. Thanks, thank you. Thanks, thank you. Thanks. I'm so fucking grateful for my ex. Thank you. Thanks, thank you.
second DIY we're going to be doing is the custom hair clips that Gabby and Hannah Lux Davis, Ariana's director, wore. Some of them like say Chanel or like Sicko. I'm sure you've seen them around. So you're just going to need letters that spell what you want. Mine are from Amazon. And if you're doing two phrases that have repeating letters, so like thank you and next, both have T's and both have N, you're going to need 2 packs of letters because each one pack comes with one set of the alphabet. Next, you're going to need hair clips. Mine are also from Amazon, and they came in a pack of 2 different sizes. One size is the 3-inch. That's what you're going to need for big phrases like thank you. And then one size is a small, which is like 1.5 inch, and you're going to need that for next. Some things that are optional but will help: Q-tips, tweezers to hold your letters, alcohol just to help clean up excess glue and any mistakes you make, hot glue, or super glue E6000. I'm going to use E6000 just because it leaves less of those strings, and it's also an easier tip for me to use. Okay, so now we're just going to start with the thank you hair clip. So I'm using one of the bigger ones, the 3-inch ones, and start with the last letter first. So I'm going to glue the U right here just so I can get the spacing right. I'm just holding my U with my tweezers, and I'm using a stippling motion with the E6000. And then you're going to let that get tacky. You can blow on it. So now that my glue is more white, I can go ahead and place my U on. Okay, so I place my K and U. I put the U first to get the spacing right. Then I place my K. Now I have my N with the thin layer of glue on it so that the excess doesn't spread everywhere. And you're just going to blow on it until it gets tacky. And then once you see the glue turn a cloudy white color, that's when you know it's ready. So you place it. And then place it down. Once again, holding it with your tweezers to keep it steady, and then a thin layer of glue. After it turned a cloudy white color, I'm placing it down with the tweezers. Then just straightening it out, and then using the tweezers to press it more firmly.
What I see, look what I got. Look what you taught me. Yeah, for that I say thank you. Thanks, thank you. Thanks, thank you. Thanks. I'm so fucking grateful for my ex. Thank you. Thanks, thank you. Thanks, thank you. Thanks. I'm so fucking grateful for my ex.
Third DIY is going to be something from her merch because I really wanted it, but I did not want to pay $30 for it, and that is her thank you next and 7 rings socks. The sock DIY, you're obviously going to need a pair of socks. I got mine from Amazon. I tried to look for some that looked the most like Ariana's. You're also going to need fabric dye of your choice. I'm doing pink because that's what color Ariana's socks were on her merch. Some sticks or spoons to stir your dye. You're going to need a bucket to put your dye in. Transfer paper. Some optional things are an X-Acto knife just to cut your words closer. You're also going to need rubber bands. I got mine from Target. You're going to need gloves. I got mine from Target. So I'm just using a hollow Times New Roman font, and that's actually not the exact font that was on the socks, but I thought it was close enough. And I'm just putting all the words on one page to save space. I already printed these when I printed the shirt. So here I'm just adding salt to the water. I don't really know what this does, but I've seen people do it, so I'm just adding salt to the water. Make sure your water is really hot. And now I'm going to shake up my dye, and then I'm going to pour about half of that into the container. So I'm just stirring the water to evenly distribute the dye, and then I'm going to test it with a napkin to check if the color is right. So now I'm just dumping in the plain socks the way they are and pushing them under, making sure the dye gets evenly distributed. And now I'm just tying the tie-dye socks in a random pattern so that the dye is not all over them and there will be some white parts. And so now you just want to keep picking them up and wringing them out and just making sure the color gets into them. I left mine for about 5 minutes just because I only wanted it to be a really light pink. Now I'm just wringing them out in cold water in my dorm room sink until the water runs clear. So now you're just going to pop those bad boys in the washer by themselves and make sure you wash them on cold. Here's a kind of satisfying clip of me throwing them in the wash. Yeah. This part's really complicated. You're going to toss them in the dryer. Okay, I switched locations and now I'm cutting out the letters for the socks on a cutting mat, but it's just the same process as the shirt, except I'm going to try to cut all the little white parts on the inside and a thin layer on the outside so it's only the black outline. So here I'm actually cutting, but I realized after this that it's way easier if you just scratch out the white part instead of trying to cut it out. So yeah, just scratch it out, and I think I actually am doing that right now. Okay, so all I'm doing right here is just scratching out the white part of the letters that I don't want to show. You don't have to cut it out and be super precise. Now I'm just ironing the sock out before I place the letters so that the letters will be on a flat surface. So when you're ironing, just make sure you're ironing them on the right foot. So in the picture, it looks like the thank you's on the left and the next is on the right. And it's like closer to the outside of your foot. So I just went ahead and ironed 2 of my letters on. Okay, so these 2 are already ironed on. These 2 need to be ironed on. And I just used the cutout as a stencil. So now I'm just gonna press the iron down firmly so they don't move. And then I'll go back to ironing more.
What I see, look what I got. Look what you taught me. Yeah, for that I say thank you, thanks, thank you, thanks, thank you, thanks. I'm so fucking grateful for my ex. Thank you, thanks.
Okay, so now I'm just peeling the letters off, and as you can see, none of the white part is showing up. So yeah, all you have to do is scratch the part out that you don't want and it won't show up. So now you just want to do the same thing to your tie-dye 7-ring socks and then you're done. Okay guys, that's the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. If you give any of these a try, make sure to tag me in them. I'll have my social media link below.